stepping stones, right? So when you think of stepping stones, what do you see in front of you?
A river crossing, yeah.
Okay, good. Isn't it quite interesting how you all see the same thing? And do you see your pebbles there? Do you see stones there? Do you see them big? Do you see them small?
Big enough for it.
Okay, good. Yes, it's very, you have to be visually very clear. If you want peace, you have to be so clear. So see these stepping stones. See clearly, what do you want? What do you want? Close your eyes right now. What do you want? Answer yourself very clearly. Open your eyes. Do you know, do you really know there is something divine that lives around all of us, within us? Do you know that? Are you questioning? Are you in doubt? Are you in doubt? Do you know? Are you sure? Are you looking? Do you know there is a divine energy? Some people call it God, whatever it is. Do you know that?
Yes.
Okay, you're sure?
Yes.
Good. Okay, what makes you so sure?
I feel it.
Good, wonderful, it's an experience. And what is that experience? When you experience it, what do you feel?
Peace.
Fantastic. So, as my guru would say, make peace your God. Why? Because when you have peace, you're connecting. Alright, so see it very clearly. Peace is my God. Can you close your eyes and really see that? See this river, see the stepping stones, see the end of the river. What do you see at the end of the road? Open your eyes. What do you see at the end of the road? What do you see?
Gurudev.
Gurudev.
I saw bliss in lively colors.
Yeah, okay. You saw bliss, you saw Gurudev. What did you see? Anybody else? What did you see? As you think, if you see darkness, if you don't see it, you won't get there. Everybody has a different desire. Everybody has a different way of finding this God. You know, for me, because I was brought up in a very spiritual, religious household, more spiritual because of my father. My father believed God was everywhere, which was great. Made it very easy for me. So for me, God was in Jesus, God was in Buddha. God, yes, sorry.
Counting, and I've got a phone call.
Oh, sorry.
Excuse me, it's important.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So, for me, it was very clear. My definition of God was unclear. Was so unclear. It took yoga for me to study yoga to understand my definition of God, because prior to that, God was a figure, somebody up there or something up there. Although I believed there were many forms of God with one truth, I really did not understand that concept. My father would say God is everywhere, but I really couldn't understand it. I found it difficult because I was looking for something outside to make me happy. I was looking for life to make me happy, for people to make me happy, for something to make me happy. Searching, searching, searching. Oh, if I get this, I will be happy. If this happens, I will be happy. And what did I learn? On the contrary, every time I got something I wanted, it had a double-edged sword. It made me happy temporarily, but the fear came then of losing it, or not being good enough to keep it. And then I was unhappy again, so I asked myself so deeply, you know, if there is a God, why would I have to struggle so much? What meaning does life have? You know, if everything comes to a full stop, you fall in love and there's always problems, you know? You get married, you think you're heaven on earth, and it's always problems, relationship. If it's not bad relationships, it's death. If it's not death, it's something else, you know? And then it's if it's not relationship, it's work. There's no money. Things are bad. It's always such a struggle. It can't be. Life can't be like that. Otherwise, what's the point? It just didn't make sense to me. So then, when I said, okay, God, I really want to know who you are. If there is God, show me your face. This was my determination. That's how I started. The struggle of life took me to a point where I had to find something to save me from this pain, or this joke of an existence that we called life, because at that point it was a joke for me now. You know, what is the point of it all? We might as well be dead. And that's when I was introduced to the great, great, great science of yoga. And when I started to study the science, the difference was I stopped looking outside. First stepping stone, huge boulder. I read Kennedy's life. And one thing that he said that I loved was, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. Up to this point, I didn't realize this, but I thought I was quite kind or a good person. But up to this point, I realized I was living very selfishly, because everything that was in my brain, every thought that I had was about me. I'm tired. Poor me. I worked so hard. Poor me. It was all me. I was so self-indulgent. And if I did something good, I need praise right away. You know, when I would work in the shop for my husband and do the window, and if he didn't say it was beautiful, I'd get in a bad temper with him, because I needed praise. I also wanted constant reinforcement. And of course, the more you want something, the less you'll get it. Why? Because life is very kind. It forces us to be strong emotionally. And I realized at that point, I was very weak emotionally. And how could a weak person know and find this peace? So your stepping stone, first of all, close your eyes. See the beautiful lake. See these beautiful pebbles. See the end of the road with that sparkling light. See yourself as that sparkling light. See yourself smiling, happy, full of laughter, touching the grass, talking to the mountains, loving everyone around you. Now bring yourself back to the front of this road. First stepping stone, my goal is peace. Second stepping stone, I need courage. I need courage to attain that peace. Third stepping stone, I have to want it so much that every breath I take tells me peace. Peace is my goal. Peace is my goal. Peace is my goal. Open your eyes. Then comes discipline. In order to do anything well, you have to practice. If you want to be a good artist, you have to paint every day. I remember I had a fabulous art teacher when I was in university. I will never forget him. One of my greatest yoga teachers, and I didn't even know it. His name was Dr. Janka. He was Hungarian. And he used to treat everything with so much love. I remember when I used to do a sculpture and it would crack, I would cry, you know, because I fell in love with my clay. And he'd go, no, Nalanie, don't worry, we'll fix it. And he'd spend 2 or 3 hours after class helping me fix the sculpture that I had just built, you know, for months and months. But more than that, he used to teach us so many things. He used to say, it's not important, the end result. He said, what is important that is you enjoy the sculpture that you're doing or the painting that you do. And in order to enjoy it, first of all, you have to know the discipline of it. You have to learn the technique. You have to learn the technique, otherwise you can't enjoy it. Because if you just go with the emotion alone, just the emotion, then you'll cry every time something falls apart. But if you have technique, you prevent it from falling apart. So then you know you have to practice and learn techniques. You have to learn how to mix your colors. You have to learn about primary colors. You have to learn about how to mold clay, what kind of equipment you need in order to make a perfect sculpture. So you need technical, scientific work. So you need to study. And spirituality is the same. The road to peace is the same. You need to have the right tools. You need to have the right equipment. And then you need to practice. And the second thing he said to me, if you really want to be a good artist, you must paint every single day of your life. Sounds pretty cheeky. I said, Dr. Yankai, do you paint every single day of your life? Because you come here, you're here half the day. And he looked at me and said, every single day of my life. He was a brilliant artist, absolutely brilliant work. He had come from Hungary during the war. And he could be really famous. He showed some of his works were in LA, in the museum there in New York. But he wasn't interested in fame. He really wasn't interested. And I asked him many times, why are you stuck in this small university working with just a group of us, you know? You should be out there in the world. He goes, oh, I'm so happy here. I'm so happy with my students. So he had such greatness, but was so happy being so simple. So real greatness is another lesson I learned, really lies in simplicity. And simplicity really lies in having the courage to go beyond what you think you can do. I'll tell you a story that I read this morning that really, really made me think. Have any of you read Anthony de Mello? He's a Jesuit priest. Incredible Jesuit priest. He wrote a lot about non-attachment. I have to thank you. You introduced me to him. In fact, I believe it's the book you bought me, The Heart of the Enlightened. And the story goes like this. There's this couple. They're on honeymoon. And they're both having a great time. And suddenly a burglar comes to the room. And he goes, tells the husband, get out of bed. And he makes a circle. And he said, you stand in this circle, otherwise I'll kill you. You better stay in that circle. So the husband's scared and he stays. You dare move and I'll kill you. I not only kill you, I'll kill your wife. So he stands in the circle. So the burglar is just taking all the jewelry, putting everything in a bag, and he's just about to leave, and the man is still standing in a circle. And then he sees his beautiful wife. The burglar sees his wife. And he starts to try and, fondle her. And she's going, help, help. But the husband's, if you get out of that circle, I'm going to kill you. So he stays in that circle. And so she kicks him off, she bites this burglar, and finally gets fed up and he just goes away. And she tells her husband after the burglar goes, what kind of man are you? He said, well, I stayed in my spot. She said, what? You didn't even protect me. He said, I did. I tried to be brave. What do you mean you tried to be brave? When the burglar wasn't looking, I stepped out of the circle a few times. If you listen to that story, a lot of people do that. It takes real commitment to find your peace. And so many people on the spiritual path do that. They don't have the courage to go and protect and totally embrace their path of peace. Fear Fear comes in the way. Fear of not being good enough. Fear, what will people say if I just totally become myself? Fear of showing your pain, your vulnerability, your, fear of all those things stop us from grasping the beautiful love that is rightly ours, that peace. So what do? We become like this husband. God, when it suits me, I can just walk that one step. Not good enough. If you really want to find the meaning to your life and peace, you have to be really quite strong. And the only way you can be very strong is face every single challenge that comes to your life and stop becoming the victim. You are not a victim. 99% of the people I see in my life believe they are victims. It's that high. Tiny percent believe they are divine and meant to live a beautiful life. Change the thinking. Next stepping stone. Change the thinking. You are not a victim. You are a child of the universe. Got it? You are a child of the divine. Each one of us belong in that light. We come from that light. We all know it. What's happened in this generation? Don't talk about the God within. Don't talk about your spirit. Act as if it doesn't exist. Has it made us happy? No. We just needed to alter the way we saw God. That's all. We just needed to alter. But instead of altering, we removed this diamond light from our lives. And then in order to belong with the rest of the world and take our place in the world comfortably, don't come out of that circle, otherwise you might be shocked. We choose to be comfortable, we stay behind. We lose the prize. In order to get a prize, you have to work hard, right? Practice. And in order to work hard, you have to go beyond your limit. What makes a person special? When do you feel, ask yourself this, when do you feel special? When you walk that extra mile. When you walk that extra mile. When you do that extra something for a friend in need. When you're in such deep pain and you swim out of it with all your might and all your strength and tell yourself you deserve to be happy. When you walk that extra mile. And very few of us walk that extra mile for ourselves. We may do it for a friend once in a while, but when we do it for ourselves, we feel we don't deserve it or we're not good enough. So walking that extra mile, going beyond your limit. When fear comes into your life, and fear comes into your life because fear always comes with the feeling of loss. You're going to lose something. You're going to lose your health. You're going to lose your life. You're going to lose a partner. You're going to lose your wealth. You're going to lose something. I always think when fear comes, it's a very good thing. It's really wonderful that fear comes into your life. When it comes and you suddenly have this fear, I'm going to, because why? It takes you out of your comfort zone. You have to question at that point, I don't want to live in this fear. I don't want to live in this pain. So really, it is a blessing, because if you have the courage, if you don't have the courage to go beyond it, you stay stuck in fear all your life. And you will stay on that road, that center of the road. You'll take the left or the right. You'll take the center, left or the right. And your entire life will go by without taking one way or the other way. Have a wonderful time. And you have to constantly ask yourself the question, Fear had, now remember what I said about stop looking outside? Start looking inside. Why has the situation come to me? Reverse it. Why has it come to me? I'm not a victim. Are you a victim? Yeah, good. See, I'm not a victim. I'm strong, you know. I'm a survivor. So if I keep looking from outside to solve the problem, I'm not going to solve it. You're not going to solve it. If you're going to ask somebody to solve the problem for you, they're not going to solve the problem for you. Do you know that? They can guide you, but they cannot solve a problem for you. You've got to do it yourself. And until you do it yourself, you are not going to believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, you are not going to believe in the divine energy in you. You're not going to believe in God. You're not going to believe in peace. You're not going to like yourself. You will spend an entire lifetime of being mediocre. When you were born to be special, you were born to be who you are, special in who you are, but definitely not a victim. So this is a time when you have to take your strength. And your greatest fear is when you show your greatest strength. Are you going to sit at home and mope when you're going through the worst time in your life? Or are you going to challenge it and walk through it like a warrior of light? That's the decision you have to make. That is a stepping stone. Do I go through all this muck? Do I stop listening to what anybody says and follow my own heart, follow my own words, follow my own thinking? It is really important in a time of fear, great fear and pain, not to get too much advice. I keep saying that over and over again, but to stick with your connection to the divine and your own heart. What connects you? Your heart. You know what your heart needs, so look after that. If your heart is breaking, find a solution to fix it. If it can't fix, then find a solution to heal it. Sometimes things can't be fixed. Sometimes they can. We don't know when it is the time to fix or when we have to heal. How do you get to know? Where do your answers lie? Your answers lie in the technique that I spoke about earlier. The technique you use is to spend quiet time with yourself every day, every day, every day. I'm serious about this. How much do you want your peace? Every day, start the day with God. Where does God sit? In your very own heart. Upanishads, the Lord of love, no larger than a thumb, sits in the hearts of all. Bhagavad Gita, deep in the hearts of all is the light of all lights. The radiant light of Buddha shines in all. Lord Jesus, I am the way, the truth, and light. He who follows me will not walk in darkness, but will know the light. What was he saying? That he was the example of that light. And then he says, you are my brothers and sisters. How do they know you as my disciple? By the way you love one another. Clues. Clues everywhere, in all the different traditions. No superiority. Some souls come as avatars, like my master, Lord Jesus. Avatars are people who have, souls that have done many, many, many lifetimes and raised themselves to such a level that they have the choice to come back to earth to raise us all up. That's what an avatar is. So they come to earth to face the sufferings in order to lift us. They don't really need to, so they become avatars because they give off total their energy and time. But ask them, my master used to say, ask Jesus and Buddha and myself, we'll all be just playing cards up there, laughing about all the seriousness you are enjoying on this earth, We're too serious. Next step, using the technique of meditation, reflection, music, laughter, whatever technique that means something to you. Hatha yoga, bhakti yoga, the science of yoga, many, many things. Reading spiritual books, elevate your mind. Do all these, learn the technique, but don't confuse yourself. Because there are so many books out on spirituality that if you read all of them, you'll get a bit crazy. Stick to one or two that you really like, that really resonates with you. My two Bible, Bhagavad Gita and Yoga Sutras of Sri Patanjali. One is very scientific, one is the war that we all have to face on earth. It's about a battle. The battle's with our own mind. So they both, for me, work side by side with each other perfectly. Keep reading them over. You find the one you like. If you're a Catholic and you like the Bible or the New Testament, read it, read it, read it, and go to the depth of it. You will find many answers in it. But look for your Bible. Keep it, and keep it, and every day read it, read it, read it. With the practice of meditation, with constant practice on the divine, with constant repetition of the higher energy name, which we call a mantra. You know, a mantra is anything you want to make of it. For example, the word mantra means that which protects and liberates the mind. Because who is your enemy? Your mind, right? So by repeating a mantra, for example, Om Namah Shivaya, it doesn't really mean anything. It really has actually it has a meaning. It means 5 elements, it means Lord Shiva, creation and destruction, but forget about all that. It's just the energy of the vibration of the mantra. It's neutral. It doesn't say good, it doesn't say bad. It's just neutral. What we're trying to do with our mind is to bring it to neutral point. When it's neutral, it's peaceful. And you know, there was in my early days when I first started this practice, I read a book called One Reality by Paul Brunton. And I loved the way he described the technique. He said, it's like when you're at this neutral point, then it's like a divine blackboard. Now that your mind is so quiet, the divine can write anything it likes on it. And that's when you hear loud and clear what you should do in your life. We had a young man today who was being initiated, and just before this class, and he said that last night he was, should I be initiated? I shouldn't, doubting it. And then he just kept quiet and reflected on it. And the answer he heard right away was, doing the right thing. So clear, he heard it. He's smart enough to hear it and keep it. See, many of us hear these words, we hear things. We're not going crazy, but we're not smart enough to hear it, hold it, and use it. Oh, it can't be. I can't know this. There wasn't a voice that spoke to me. And when Paul Brunton, because all my life I used to hear voices. You know, I used to do choreography and I used to dream them up in my dream. And you know, I remember the choreographer came from England and she goes, how do you do your choreography? Because I used to have a dance school. I said, do you write them and do you spend on? I said, no. I dream them, I see it, and then I wake up and then I do it. I just teach what I see. Oh, really? How does it work? I said, I really don't know. I really don't know. But that's how I would learn things. And then I realized that all this energy came because I was so focused. For example, when I was teaching dance, I was so focused on dance. So when I went to bed at night, all that was in my mind was dance. So the mind would go, to the world of divine dance, give me all the choreography, and come back. So if you go to bed at night and your head is filled with peace and God, the last thing before you go to bed, and it's so focused on the peace you want within, so focused on that light, so focused at the end when you see yourself dancing in the light, laughing, so focused on it, what will you dream? Your mind will be quiet. All those wonderful dreams will come to you. Try it. It's really nice. That's how I sleep every night. I have great dreams. And then you no longer become a victim because you can feel that there's this great energy. I love the saying, God helps those who help themselves. Because when you start to help yourself, boy, do you get so much help. It just comes from all directions. People come to want to help you when you try to help yourself. When you want to become better, everything will come to help you. It's almost like the whole world, that God is only focusing on you. And when I learned this magic, I thought, why did I focus on myself before so much? When I focused on this divine energy, it gave me everything. When I focused on myself only, I got nothing. And that's why I love Lord Jesus' words when he said, seek ye God and its righteousness, and all else will be added on to you. Seek the highest, seek the highest. I think I've told this story about this king many times, but I'll tell it again. This king, he decided one day, he told his ministers, I want to put everything I own out there in the courtyard, and today we can call the villagers to come and take whatever they want. So they announced it in the morning, and you can imagine all the villagers came. One took a chair, one took a bed, one took this, one took that. But each one had to take only one thing. Some people took gold, silver. So by the end of the day, everybody had gone. The place was nearly empty. And there was this woman sitting in front of the king. Why aren't you taking anything? She goes, I don't want any of it. She said, didn't you say that we could take anything we wanted from this courtyard? And he said, yes. She said, I want you. By choosing him, she got it all. She got the palace, she lived in the palace, and she had it all. And it's like that. And I see so many times in so many lives, including my own, that in the past especially, grabbing for all the things I wanted from the outside, when really once I chose that, I got everything I wanted. Because if you have peace, it means you have everything. It doesn't mean that once you find peace, that you won't experience pain. What it does mean is once you find peace, as Sri Patanjali would say, pain that is yet to come is avoidable. What does that mean? Because once you find peace, you're solid in yourself. You're strong in yourself. Pain will come. But when you retaliate wrongly, most of us, when we have pain, we want to fight back. We want to get angry. We say we don't deserve it. So what happens? Action creates reaction. But when you have the tools and the technique, the peace, when something hits you and you stay strong, it bounces right off. So what have you done? That pain, if you had fought back, that would have come to you, you have prevented. You have prevented by your knowledge, by your technique, by your strength. And again, that strength can be developed between you and your God. But it cannot be developed outside of you. You can share it. Once you have it, you can share it. And you will attract people of like mind, because like attracts like. But if you don't develop it, you will notice that all these problems will come into your life one after another. Until you do. Why? Because there is a very kind energy reminding us all the time, don't forget that you are soul. Don't forget that you are spirit. Don't forget that the human life is temporary. Don't take everything so seriously. It is all going to pass. So I brought you to earth because you wanted to be on earth. Because you wanted to feel, you wanted to touch, you wanted to love, and you wanted to sing. But you got attached to the things I sent you. You got attached and took it as your own, so you suffer. Whatever good I give you, appreciate the time you have it. When it's ready to go, let it go. Holding on to something that is not yours, and what is yours anyway, only brings suffering and pain. If it is yours, it is meant to be with you forever. It will not leave you. And that is the voice that keeps reminding us. Unfortunately, we need big hits in our life to remember this. Once you remember it, you don't need the hits anymore. They don't come because you've learned the lesson. Once you graduate, you don't need to go back to university again, do you? So until you graduate, you'll keep getting hit. Not because you're a victim, but because you are so loved that the divine energy wants you to enjoy the rest of your life before you end up in your bed, your deathbed, saying, oh, but why didn't I do this? And why did I give so much time to this? And why didn't I live a happier life? Why did I spend so much time complaining? Why did I grumble all the time? Why didn't I laugh more? Why didn't I sing more? Why didn't I play more? Why didn't I walk in the grass when I wanted to? Why didn't I give love? Why did I shout all the time? For what? For an extra television set or a better car? I can't take any of this with me anyway. Anyway, can't take any of it with me anyway. So these things, pain that comes into our life, are great reminders of our spirit. And I think we have to change our way of seeing pain and not feeling like we are victims, but feeling like we are given the opportunity to be the best we can, the strongest we can. Very difficult to do if you don't have the technique, so you need the techniques. Like I said, meditation is one. Exercise is brilliant. It gives endorphins off, so that your mind becomes happy. Some people say, I don't like Hatha Yoga. Okay, walk then. I don't like this. And always making excuses. But the biggest excuse I always hear is, Nalanie, I have no time to meditate. Oh, really? You have time to go to the hairdresser. You have time to dress up. You have time to brush your teeth. You have time to eat. Spend lots of hours eating. Spend lots of time going to the grocery store. You have time to go to the gym. But you have no time for your soul? Shame on you. And then you say, oh, I want peace. Know why you don't have it. It's no God punishing you that because, no God saying, oh, you don't deserve your peace. You just haven't made time for you. You haven't made time because you don't think you're worth it. You think everything outside is worth it. You haven't really understood where God lives. So really the first stepping stone, like I said, know where God lives. In your heart. And nobody connect. Because I asked you a question when we first started this talk. And I said, how you answered. What did you say? Your answer was?
My big stepping stone.
Feelings.
What did she say? Does anybody remember?
Feeling.
To find
Feelings.
Yeah. She said peace.
peace.
And I asked her,
How do you know?
and how do you know?
She feels it.
And you
I
said,
feel it.
feel it. You see, you're ready for good. Good
Find the
manners.
peace.
Yeah. Yeah. And how do you know? Because you feel it. You experience it. Did you hear it?
Yes.
Yeah, loud and clear. Remember it.
Yes. No.
So convince yourself, convince yourself, convince yourself. And if you're not convinced, spend more time alone. Spend more time in quiet until you don't need to spend any more time alone. In the early stages of preparation or technique learning, in any skill that you want to, you have to spend a lot of time with that. For example, if you want to be an artist, you have to spend a lot of time learning about paints and canvases and primers and colors, right? You want to be a good gardener, you have to spend a lot of time being in the garden watching. Once you become skilled, you don't need to spend any time. You go in and you notice immediately when something is wrong, don't you? Right away, oh, you know, I have gardeners come to my garden, oh, this is a weed, oh really? I didn't even notice. Oh no, this is, immediately they come and they don't even look around. Their eyes go right away to that which is maybe spoiling the garden. So interesting. They know. It's what experts at the field. So we should learn to become experts with ourselves. Experts with our peace. When we are away from our peace, we can watch it. Oh, I'm away from my peace today. What has caused this feeling? Oh, because, you know, I didn't have enough willpower. So you have to ask yourself, what do you want more? I remember once, this woman really taught me a great lesson. And she allowed me to use her story, which I keep using because it's quite amazing. You know, she came to me totally depressed, totally depressed on antidepressants. And she comes to me and really depressed, and I talk to her, and she's got nice energy, and she's lovely. And then she goes, I said, why? Where has this come from? And then she goes, you know, I'm a really good Catholic girl. I go to church all my life. I do this. I believe in the 10 Commandments. And I go, I'm not asking you any of those questions. What are you trying to defend? What are you doing that makes you feel that you are not a good Catholic girl? Da, 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 da. And then, anyway, we found it. She was having an affair. So I said, okay, no judgment, really no judgment. All I'm asking you is, are you happy in your marriage? Yes and no. Be clear, be very clear. Why are you having an affair? And, well, because, you know, that once a week we get into the hotel and we go off to Spain, and it's such a buzz, and he says he loves me so much, and he loves my body, and he loves this and that. I love the feeling. Okay, that's great. If you love the feeling so much, why are you depressed? Why are you depressed? You should be so happy you're having this affair. You should be so joyous. Why are you so depressed? Why are you on these drugs? Who are you fooling? She started crying. She said, you know, Nalanie, really, I'm miserable. So I said, you are then telling me that for 1 hour a week or 2 hours a week of joy, of exhilaration, you are willing to sacrifice 23 or 24 hours a day of being miserable. What are you doing to yourself? I said, there's no judgment. What are you doing to yourself? I said, do you want to go off with this guy? Are you in love with him? Oh, I'm so in love with him. Okay, does he want to go off with you? No, he's married. He has 2 children. Okay. Do you want to leave your husband? No, you know, actually he's a good guy. He's loyal and he's faithful. So what do you want? I don't know. So what is causing your depression? Well, you know, Nalanie, every time when I go home I get so confused. Why do you get so confused? Because I can't tell my husband the truth, so I'm always living a lie. So how do you expect your husband to love you when you're such a confused human being? Do you see how confused the whole situation was? So what happened? She said, what do I do? So I said, okay, you just come to the talks, do the yoga to steady your mind. And seriously, first of all, I can't ask you to give up your lover because you'll go crazy. You're already depressed, you get even more depressed. I advise you not to lie because lying is what's causing all the problems. Because when you lie, you're never at peace. So I said, learn the golden rules, non-violence, truthfulness. These are my golden rules. You know, don't steal anything that doesn't belong to you. Practice a little bit of restraint and see clearly. Anyway, she came to see me privately every week, and she came to all the talks, she did the Hatha Yoga. After 6 months, she said to me, I think I'm ready now. I said, what are you ready? She said, you know, I have now learned to see what's happening in my life. I am not willing to sacrifice a good, solid marriage in her case for this guy who's never going to leave his wife to be with me. He's never going to leave his wife to be. So I'm never going to have him anyway. So I think I want to try now to be truthful, so I need to have to tell my lover to go. I said, are you ready to let go of that exciting feeling? She said, you know what? I have found so much peace in my mind while I've been thinking about this. I prefer the peace. Okay, so anyway, she did it. She came back to me. How do you feel? She said, you know, wonderful and sad. Sad because I had to let go of this excitement. Wonderful because there is a silent peace. But look how lucky she was. 2 months later, this lover she had was found with another woman. His wife found them in bed together. Everything went to pots, everything, the whole family, a lot of argument, a lot of disturbance, a lot of, mess. 2 whole families there, destroyed, children destroyed. You know what she came to say? She said to me, wow, Nalanie, God really loves me. He saved me. It could have been me. And I said, how do you see the whole situation now? She said, totally differently. Wow. I said, so thank your depression. If you weren't depressed, you wouldn't have come, and the pills weren't helping you, you wouldn't have come here. You wouldn't have come here. And in the end, really, even her husband didn't bother her anymore because she found so much joy in her newfound peace and strength, her own strength. She liked herself so much because she was strong. And she started to do things, more creative things with her life. In fact, she found out that one of her sons was gay, and she actually went to Spanish television and, was not ashamed of it anymore, was proud to say, I think this is, we should learn to accept people for what they are. She grew in so many different directions because her energy now was focused on living a truthful life. If she had chosen the other way, we don't know what would have happened. I'm just saying from her point of view, how not living total truthfulness caused depression. So these are some of the techniques, technical things that you need to use in life to be very truthful, very truthful, very truthful to yourself, very truthful to yourself. In order to be truthful to yourself, you also have to be very truthful to the world you live in, because they're a reflection of your mind. So if you're truthful in your work, truthful in your life, truthful in everything you do, truth will help you out of any problem you have. Truthfulness is not an easy thing, because we all like to deny our weaknesses. But I've also discovered, since many years of counseling, we also like to deny our light, our goodness, our strengths. We do both. So meditation, watching the way you think, understanding how to come to terms with your fears, finding solutions to fix the problems. Problems are never a problem. There is always a solution. And when you are peaceful and you are quiet and you wait for that voice from the heart that tells you either, I really can't do this anymore, or I really need to do this now. When you hear that voice, you start to live. You start to live in a different dimension. The dimension is that you are watching your life as if you're watching a movie. And you start to have the position of producer and director rather as being the lame actor or the lame actress who's told to do whatever the world tells it to do. You become director of your movie. Because that's the energy of the divine, and when you vibrate at that level, it allows you that gift. It gives you that gift. It's grace. They call it grace in religious terms. It's just an elevation of atomic energy in your body, because you're vibrating at a higher level. You see, the Hindus explained it very, very, very clearly by saying, what is the essence of the spirit? The essence of the spirit, they say, is truth, knowledge, bliss. When you live in truth, you are very neutral, very clear. When you have the knowledge, you can make the right decisions, have clarity. And when you can do those two, you live in bliss. And this is the state of the essence of this atomic power or soul energy in our body. And we connect to it the more we apply these things to our life. So the more truthful you are, you watch how your life flows. The more you are untruthful, you see how many obstacles you get. Just watch it. Practice truth for 1 week. I'm not going to lie for a week. I'm just going to say the truth as it is. But especially to yourself. And stop being a victim, because every problem has a solution. Change your thinking. Will you remember that? When a problem comes to you, don't grasp it. Oh, my problem, my problem. Okay, it's come to me. I need to find a solution. Get to work. Just get to work on the solution. What is the solution? As last night, my niece, she was telling me she's staying in my guest room. Auntie Nell, I couldn't sleep last night. Oh, I forget that 10 years ago she used to be so scared. She used to shake all the time. Look at her 10 years later, brilliant. And she was scared of the dark. And I'd forgotten all of those because she looked so strong. And she goes, I can't sleep. And I said, oh, my curtains are a bit light, aren't they? And she goes, yes, Auntie Nell, but I have to, you know what? I have to get used to it. I have to go through the next step and I have to get strong. And I looked at her and I said, why? You're already much stronger. This fear comes from a long time ago, but it's no big deal. There's a very simple solution. Auntie Nell, what can we do? I said, well, take 2 blankets and put it on top of those blinds, and it won't be see-through and you'll be fine. Sometimes we have to get very simple solutions. Don't struggle so much with yourself to get used to that see-through curtain. You don't need to fight it. Some things we don't need to fight. Some battles you just don't need to fight. Not worth her effort. She's worked so hard to become fearless. She's not going to work herself up. What if I can see through at night? I'm feeling a bit creepy. And not sleeping for 2 nights. She doesn't need to do that anymore. Just cover it with a blanket. We cover it with a blanket. She goes, so simple. I said, most solutions are simple. We try to complicate it by thinking we have to fight everything off, or ward everything off, or become so weak, and we lose all our strength and give it all away. Sometimes just apply the simplest thing.
Maybe she just closed her eyes.
Pardon?
Maybe she just actually really closed her eyes. She wouldn't see the light.
She closed her eyes.
If she closes her eyes, then she won't see the light. She keeps opening it up.
Yeah, that's right. She was battling with the light, because my blinds are see-through.
Yeah.
She's battling with it. She couldn't close her eyes. That was her problem. She couldn't. What if she closed her eyes and if she opens and she sees a head outside there, or she sees a shadow? You see, so she didn't dare close her eyes. She just couldn't. So she stayed awake, thinking she had to conquer that fear. But what she did is fight all night, only to get up weak in the morning. Sometimes there are battles you don't need to fight so hard for. She had already fought the big battle. Do you see? I see sometimes we push ourselves so far when we don't need to push ourselves so far. Sometimes we do, but sometimes we just don't. There are simple solutions. And it doesn't mean that we're you're not strong. It just means there are simple solutions. Don't complicate your life. Keep it simple. Somebody calls you stupid, for example. How dare you call me stupid? Really? You think I'm stupid? Interesting. Thank you for letting me know how you think of me. Lanesh, full stop, you're not stupid. Do you see? Change it around, make it light. That's your opinion of me? Fine. Oh, Nalanie, I think you're a bit over the top. You know something? I know I am. I'm a bit over the top. I can be, too much for people. I don't take it as an insult. It's the absolute truth. And the person who said it to me is like, what? Take a double take. But it's true. What you have said is 100% true. I know it. I don't take it as an insult. I take it as a compliment. And this is how we have to lighten up. Take ourselves as a joke. Don't get so serious. And you know how you can do it? I always feel sometimes in my human nature I'm not capable of many, many things. But I know that when I'm in my divine nature, I am capable of many things. So I always think, I want God to be proud of me. That's how I do it. I want God to be proud of me because I am a gift to myself, because I'm able to touch, love, share, and my life is, all our lives are going to be quite short. And I don't have the right to hurt the God in me. I don't have that right. So I must always, in my own heart, feel that it has to be full of love. Because I have the right to love God. Because God is my gift that I know in this body, because this doesn't belong to me. I know so clearly that all this will be ashes. I know it so clearly. It's helped me to know it so clearly. Do you know it so clearly? I know it so clearly. I saw my son throw my husband's ashes down into the sea. And I just became one with the ocean. I will be like that. So who am I really? And I love what St. Paul said. His words, our body is our temple. So to respect the temple, because it's not ours, it's on loan. Sometimes you spoil it, like you would your grandchildren. Sometimes you're strict with it, like you would your grandchildren. Sometimes you allow it to be a little naughty, like you would with your grandchildren. And sometimes you become really serious, as you would with your grandchildren. You treat yourself as you would your grandchildren. And like I said, you become the director of the play. You stop being so personal about you. And then when you see yourself, each one of us, what makes us so special that everybody should work and make us happy? There's also that side, oh, everybody should make me happy. Why? I started off by saying one of Kennedy's sayings really changed my life. Ask not what the world can do for you, but ask what you can do for the world. First, change the chip in my head. That's why all spiritual masters say. I have not heard one that has not said that. Again, clues, stepping stones, clues. Serve, love, give. Wow, right? Serve, love, give. Meditate, purify, realize who you are. And then you can enjoy this beautiful play on earth. I'd like to finish off with a meditation on the stepping stones towards peace. We haven't even touched the subject, by the way. I've just grazed it. well, sit with your spine erect. Close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath. Exhale. Take another slow, deep breath. And breathe out very slowly. Imagine beautiful light surrounding your entire body, like you're in a bubble of light. Shut out the sounds of the world and walk into this light. Imagine yourself walking into your own heart. And in your heart, there's a bright light. See yourself inside that light. See yourself as you address today. See yourself, look at yourself. Watch yourself. Now lay out your path. My goal is peace. My goal is peace. Peace is my goal. Peace is my goal. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. See that beautiful river that you saw with the big pebbles. And feel excited, so excited to find your truth. So excited to find the divine within. You're so excited and you're saying, what can I do to get closer? So see yourself pick up the tool of meditation, picking up some spiritual books, learning, studying. Ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? Who am I really? Who am I? I'm not this body. The body's on loan. And my mind is subjected to everything that's in this world. So who am I really? I want to know. And see ahead of you all those wonderful pebbles that you're going to just run across. No fear. Yes, sometimes you have to balance really hard. You really have to focus so you don't fall into the river. And at those times, sit down, see yourself repeating the mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Doing your Hatha Yoga on one leg, tree pose, balance. Staring straight in front of you like a warrior pose, balance. I can do this. And if you trip and fall, you come right up again. See yourself smiling through your tears, through your pain. See yourself suddenly coming to a stone where you stop. You stop because you've been working so hard. Now it's time to rest. You stop. You do nothing. You look at the tree, and the tree is a prayer. You look at the flower, and the flower is a prayer. You get up in the morning and you look at your room, and your room is a prayer. You take your bath, your shower, and you ask yourself, or tell yourself, I am washing the Lord's body. I am washing the Lord's temple. Everything becomes a prayer. And this is when the peace settles. There is nothing to do but enjoy the prayer. You go to work, it's a prayer. You give it your love, you give it your heart. You come home, you cook, or you go on the computer. It's a prayer. You give it your all, you give it to your heart. You smile at your pain, you turn on the music, and you live life, and that is a prayer. Every time you smile for God. Every time you cry, you're being held by God. Take a deep breath. And know there is nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. You're never alone. Your spirit is always with you. It will take time to develop this feeling and this strength and this faith. Give yourself time. Love yourself. Do things to make you happy. Gentle things, simple things. Now see yourself back in your heart again, surrounded by this beautiful light. And just smile. Smile and enjoy a couple minutes of silence. broken hearts be healed. May all those without food be fed. May all those who are suffering be relieved from pain. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.